the time we do the impossible. It felt like yesterday. I was just driving my grandma's Chevrolet from South Carolina to Maryland. I take the jet today. I'm still on the come up. I'm still building my resume. I still got a lot to prove, but still I'm heavyweight. I still gotta watch my moves. They tried to defamate my character, but I won't let them. It's always checkmate. I'm still screaming. The world hope she. Mother Nature's my first shorty. Watch how I go ballistic, and I'm so terrific. Accounts is copacetic. I don't need no permission, but I'm so indebted to this game that I love, and most of all to the man above. Now check me out. Now it's just that Fridays was serving the greens. Before I was popping, I was nursing my dreams. Now I ain't never been a gangster, but I know a few things. I just rather get the bag and start collecting the rings. I done spoke too much. Close curtain and scene. I am not a human being. I'm a full machine. I ain't holier than thou. I don't judge.
It's week 17 of the NFL. And at center stage, it's the Raiders' sure-handed wide receiver. Always staying busy. He's your league leader in receiving yards. It's the Raiders and the Broncos.
Yeah, we're back live.
And more coming up next.
Whiteout conditions throughout the Great Plains sure made travel difficult, but we're
we back live out here. Nelly, her, the St. Louis style. Right? Listen to Coach Cad talk up and stone.
Alongside my partner Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, you look at the Raiders.
Let's get it, baby.
It's a
The Broncos in a winter storm.
I'm Brandon Gaudin. He's Charles Davis. Full disclosure, we both have mittens, we both have coats on. I'm here to go this one. It's going to be interesting.
The Johns, the socks, the boots, you name it. You know me in cold weather, we don't get along all that well. But these games are always interesting because you never know how it's going to play out. One slip, someone's going for 80 yards, and you can lose a game.
And able to get this out to the 25.
Let's get it.
So here are the Broncos.
Hey, Broncos country. Let's ride, baby.
They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's
all right, here we go.
the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
We know what we doing. It's wooling time.
One touchdown, one pick.
Debo, Troy.
We find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Ah, yes, X Factor Rock Sin. I'm going to use my X Factor Trayvon Mullen and X Factor Rock Sin. And X Factor Troy.
Throwing again on second down. Wilson will get that complete to Alberto.
Broncos break every tackle.
It's a first down.
Dude, their X Factor is they break every tackle and their momentum shift is untackleable.
And it did right there. Multiple broken tackles, but they eventually get it.
I don't want to know, no, who's taking you home.
They'll run for the first time with J.K. Dobbins.
Dude, they literally are. Oh my gosh.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
It's hard to see my players.
Now Wilson. And his throw here's incomplete.
Let Russ cook.
I certainly thought he had an open book beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't.
It's a DJ car down. They'll bring up a Broncos third down.
Got his man, Robbie Anderson. And he will hold the Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Are we going to rely upon the run game heavily? No.
At the 43. There's Wilson. It completes it once more to Anderson. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Man, we're getting sauced and tossed.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing.
Put in Barno right here.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. He'll swing this out to Dobbins.
Dadgum. All right, Woolen's done. He's getting ran. He's missed like 7 tackles, and he's one of my best tacklers.
And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right into the game plan, attack them early, see if they're going to play any better, and if not, you keep the pressure on them until things change.
That's complete. It's Okurebunan. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard.
Broncos country, it's tearing me up.
15 more there.
Man, they're ripping me a new one.
They'll try and run. This is Williams.
And there it is. All right. Terrible drive. Hey, put it past us and let's move on. Let's go.
His 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are on the board first here this afternoon. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
And they can talk all they want about putting the loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed. And this is what they said.
Simple farmer.
A lot of things they needed to do differently. Whatever they said appears to have worked. Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
All right, Matthew Rose.
Fielded right around the 8. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 20.
Best receiving core in Madden history. Why is Raynaud already tired?
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. The Raiders at 12-3 now on the year. And Charles, they were losers last time out. What do you think they need to do differently here?
Dontrell Bonds. Now we're going to PA cross him up.
Not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? And he'll get about 3 as he's...
Keelan Turner's always getting hurt.
Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature in the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Zappi. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available. And incompletion as a result.
On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And the Broncos will take over on downs. I guess they wanted to get that touchdown right back on their first drive, but failed to do so.
And what they have to be careful of is pushing so hard to stay right there, to stay even with their opponent. that they gas themselves out. You know, it's almost like horse racing. Sometimes you don't want to take your horse right to the front and let them do all the work and then someone catch them at the end and pass them up. You want to make sure you moderate what you're doing along the way and then go for the big finish.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And that is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. Taking on the midfield logo. There will be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Bonds. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter #2. As they go to work on a 1st and goal. Zappy back to throw. Touchdown Raiders. A great effort there. His 11th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are an extra point away from evening this one up. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter #2. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And taken right on the 30. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Holding. Repeating.
A pretty good. It's considered, but holding.
I agree with you totally. It's actually a return that they were going to be very proud of. But when you end up holding and bringing it back, now your offense has to start a little bit deeper in their own territory.
They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now a handoff up the middle. Bonds, and he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 40. The middle they go. Bonds. He'll get this down to the 38.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going. And then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Zappi on third down. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's not going to get the first down. He had to get to the 30, but he's a yard or two short. Zappi throwing for it on 4th. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And the Broncos will take over on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, the head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, they'll set up the screen. This is Williams. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Now Wilson. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Fielded at the 20. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting.
My fault, or don't. I've been on the phone with Brother Jack. Where you at, stunted slime?
But you know what they'll say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take
yeah. Hey, long have I waited, though. Hey, we back. Last night I used some Justin Fields action. I used the Bears. You know how it is. Justin Fields kind of. My outlook on Justin Fields has changed because before he used to never run, and then the past few games he's been like awesome. I'm playing with the Raiders, but I used Justin. I just wanted to get on Madden last night, but didn't feel like putting in the effort of a Raynaud and Marcus Ferris. No, I can't do a quick play. So I started like a franchise in like week 10 with real life and wanted to use the Bears orange helmets. And I like Justin Fields now. I didn't like him before. He never ran before. He was always stupid before. And their playbook was awesome. So I really want like a running quarterback. Gosh. They're like all over. You know how like even though my guy's faster, sometimes they just stay all over him no matter what, and like he can't like break them. What? Well, right now he can't break away. Yeah, players beat the threshold. Dontrell Bonds is having a day. He's gashing the. What? Yeah. No. I just said that I used the Bears yesterday. I created like a new franchise just for last night. But because I didn't feel like putting in the effort of a real game and like potentially I won 17-14 because the Lions scored on the last play. Crap, I'm playing terrible right now. I had like Luca and Nate have been on the phone, then Jack accidentally butt dialed, and then it's 7-7 in a snow game with the Broncos.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. These guys.
Oh yeah, I'm 12-3. And the last game I played was against the Bucks a while back, but that was the first game I'd played in a while, and I got beat like 56-35, Tennessee type scores. Yeah, Paul Potter was freaking unstoppable in that game. And so right now we're in a rut, just not really good at Madden at the moment. And Madden's updated and it feels slightly different. Because they updated it the other day, but they've also updated it like 2 times since I've really played, and so it's like, it's different, like more broken tackles.
Eluding the pressure right. He'll just get rid of it.
I don't know, I didn't read it, but Ray Weather was like, yeah, we got a new update on Madden NFL 23. He gives great news, but his voice is super annoying. Hey, yeah, it's like, we have a Madden update. NCAA 23 is no longer, it's going to be out in 24. Did you see that? That's so freaking annoying, but I guess it's better. Ray Weather convinced me it was. He said that pretty much Madden, so EA actually kind of can't help it. The NFL makes Madden come out every year. EA would want to take a break, that way they could put out like a, because think about it, so they have, as soon as they put out a new game, they have to work on that new game for like the first 3 months and work out all the kinks of it, because there's kinks because they're having to pump out a new game like this every single year because the NFL is making them. And so they put out a new game, then they have to start working on next year's game like immediately after, but they also have to fix the kinks from this year's game, but they don't have and then they don't have as much time to work on next year's. Does that make sense? And so they stay in like a cycle of having to fix this game and that taking away from next year's game, and then next year's game is going to have to be fixed when it comes out, and then they'll have to be working on the next year's game, and they'll have to take it back. You see what I'm saying? It's a continuous cycle of crap, and they're stuck in it. And
how does Call of Duty do that? The games continue to be better.
Huh?
Call of Duty does the same thing as their games are always doing.
Well, Madden has to put out an NFL game. And
They don't have to, but they do.
And if Madden's code is way harder to do than Call of Duty's. Think about it. Just think about what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I don't care what you think's a better game. I'm saying Madden, they have to create playbooks for every single team. Like, yes, on Call of Duty, the most diverse thing they do is make different guns and maps. Madden makes different maps, different, gear, different players, face scans, different animations for every single different type of player, and they have to make different playbooks and different modes. You see what I'm saying? They have a way harder code. The code to write is immensely different and harder to do. And it's supposed to be realistic. Everybody knows that that's not how war actually is or feels. And nobody cares. But NFL, they want it to feel literally like they're no different than what you watch on TV. And so it's like a harder thing to do. And I guess I was in NCAA was always on the same engine as Madden, but NCAA was better because it was it's more fun because college football is better. And so it felt different. It felt different because college football is different, and so they code it different, and it's two different teams that work on it. But it's the same engine. Why'd they delay it? Because it wasn't ready. They've come out and said that they're not copying pasting Madden. And if they wanted to, they could have easily had it copy pasted of Madden but with college. You see what I'm saying? So they're trying to really make it so they're taking their time the way that they should do with Madden, but they can't because the NFL won't let them take a break. The NFL for money wants a game out every year. And since they're the dealer of the NFL, they can't help but, they have to listen to the NFL. And so pretty much college football...
Won't they have to make a game every year like they used to?
Yes, but this first game, they're trying to make it where they're not going to have to do as much of that work that's not done in these Maddens. You see what I'm saying? Because when they came out with the Madden for this, they had to pump it out for this console and the other consoles. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they didn't ever have a break. There is no other console, and there is a break. You know what I mean? They have as much time as they want, and so the base of this game is going to be solid for generations. Is what they're going for. That way they can have a base that has the game day experiences and feels of stadiums and stuff. And then from there, they'll be able to add newer features that are easier to code. But they said that the coding of the college playbooks is way different and more intricate than it is in NFL because you're making 120 something, and college playbooks are way different than NFL playbooks. You have to have Navy option things and stuff in there. The game is going to be so freaking fun. I'm super disappointed it's not coming out. But at the same time, happy that they're going to actually
immediately raise the expectations to where it has to be probably the greatest football game ever.
No matter what happens, it's going to be a great game. Even if they copy and pasted Madden, just because it's college, you know what I mean? That's
all you have to do is copy and paste jerseys and players stadiums. That's kind of all.
People already know how to do that on PC, but they're trying to make it an actual I'm ready for the freaking boxing game too, and the boxing game has been delayed, and because it started off like a tiny thing, only weird England boxers, and then they ended up getting support from actual boxers that are real, saying that they want it to be in the game too. And so they've ended up having enough money to make a legit game that's going to be big. And so now that went from something that only it was going to be $19.99, to a $60 game, basically. So I'm I don't like UFC because I like the traditions of it's the NFL. It's what it is rugby versus football to me. Rugby's cool and rugged, but it's also a little bit more oh! And it is. Rugby feels more oh, for England. It's the difference between Marvel and Star Wars to me. Star Wars is lore and background and awesomeness, and Marvel is action just because. Yes, that's the difference that I should have explained. Jordan would have hated that comparison. And we're that's not even right. but that's what it is to me. I don't dislike UFC, but if I'm gonna watch one, I think boxing's like classic and like cool, and like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, like Julian the Hawk Jackson, and it's like, I don't know, not these weird white dudes with like tattoos that like have their nuts hanging on other people's like heads. it's like, I don't care. It's too bloody and gory and like weird. Like, you want to fight to the death, mate? For me, that's not a sport to me. That's what I'm saying. Is I like boxing better because it feels like a sport. That the other one feels like, you know, like, oh, it's like I'm watching like a movie of like Braveheart. And, like, I want to watch Rocky, not Braveheart, when I'm watching a sport. And so that's my take on it. And I think it'd be way cooler to have like a career in boxing on like a video game. Imagine like competing with like Ali and Mike Tyson for like boxing great legendariness, and being like, "Hey, undefeated!" Like putting on weight with your My Player to like go up to heavyweight or something. It's like dominated the competition below him.
I think that's been done before.
It was. EA made like fight nights and stuff back in the day, but they don't have. There is no boxing game, and it hasn't been since EA Fight Night Round 2 or something on like PS2, which came out in like 2009. So I never played that, but I've grown to love the like lore of boxing, even though I don't know anything about it. It's something that I wish I knew like a lot more about. No, WWE's fake. Boxing is real. Oh, Lane Knox almost scored a touchdown. It's not. It's soccer because it's just punching. But I think that takes like way more like actual skill. I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying, that it takes you could say it takes more skill to just be able to like destroy a man, but I'm saying if you technically look at it, it takes more skill to destroy another man just by punching him in the face or the gut. If you see what I'm saying.
That's what's in UFC, but they also use like their feet.
Yes, and just like you could just like attack someone. I'm saying that I think it makes the rules of boxing make it where I think boxing takes more skill, because I mean, I don't know, one punch from Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson could fight in UFC and just punch and he wouldn't be as good, but he'd be pretty bad still. He's a bad because he's like the hardest punch of all time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though, I like boxing better. I like their trunks are like actually cool. Their like the gloves are cool. It's not like weird knuckles. Huh?
MMA, they wear like spandex.
I know, and they're like weird tattoo like drunk men. I'd rather watch like
Israel Adesanya, who's like a shredded African warrior.
Anderson Silva, shredded Brazilian warrior. I don't dislike UFC, but I'm just saying that I'd rather watch, you know, Gervonta Davis and stuff like that. Tyson Fury's cool. He's like the definition of like, it's in my head, it's like making a Madden career and having like the story arc behind it. Simple formal. Versus Marvel having like no lore, no history, no background, and it's just a bunch of brutes. It's basically like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like, oh mate, we're trying to go over here and use our wizardry. Versus like, to me it is, versus the Force. It's like weird and like elfish, and like Lord of the Rings compared to like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You know what I'm saying? That's like super insanely hard.
On second and goal, Zappi, and he takes a shot on the release.
It's harder, and so I think a video game of that's going to be way more fun and like way cooler than playing like hitting nasty combos and that versus doing like weird having to deal with legs and UFC game made by EA. Oh, Will Disley fell short. We go to halftime tied at 7 because Will Disley falls down at the 3 on a possession catch.
Hey, Andor finale came out today.
What? How many finales do they have?
That was the last episode.
I promise that I'm not joking. It's been like for insanely always still happening.
Yeah, it's 12 episodes, so it's 12 weeks.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm tuned in to the live.
Have you seen? I guess do you like it yet?
No. Hey, mute your mic, whatever that's.
Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the
Hey, what up, Thuggy?
Curious to see what the
Thugula.
brings us.
Count Dracula.
I'm with you on that one, and we all
Yeah.
know
Montrell.
in the NFL,
Oh my gosh. No, I did for a second, but now it's unmuted.
brand new short football game. It's all even.
Who blocked in the back?
Season. This is ours.
Marcus Ferris. He's going to be the next coach of
It's pretty trash.
What is?
Backwards a bit.
Andor.
Oh, it's like I thought you talked
It's
about.
dumb because they write no characters in that are interesting, and it's Andor, who we already know dies. It's like, who cares what happens?
I mean, I think it's still cool. It's better than not having
All
it.
it does is show the beginning of the rebellion.
It's better than not having it. Would you say it's better than not having it?
On first down, here's
I'd rather have like Obi-Wan tells the Jedi.
I would rather have Tales of the Jedi is one of the greatest things in Star Wars.
I know.
That was like
that.
that was legitimately awesome. All right, Marcus Ferris, find a way.
Throwing again on second down. Zappy. Quick throw, that's complete.
I don't know where Raynaud. Are they doing that thing again where I'm having to put Raynaud in per play? Yes. Well, I don't know. Why do they keep doing that? Do you know how to get that to stop?
No. It's something with stamina. It's like during your weekly training.
Oh, Zappy! What the frick was that? Dontrell's going to get this first. Dontrell's having a game. He's not usually the running back, but... Get off of him!
Starting a new franchise. Mine's like kind of screwed.
Get off of him! 11%. Dontrell!
You hear me?
What? You're starting anew?
I might. The Nissan Brown franchise has been screwed by like trades and stuff I shouldn't have done.
If into the trade finder you go, only corruption.
The feature they added breaks the game. It gives you like way too much value. It's not fun.
Greed!
If you have those tendencies to be
Well, because it's like,
head coach,
alright, let me trade this like up and coming player for like freaking like Jamar Chase.
I have Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons and Hunter Renfrow on this team, but I can't re-sign them, and so I'm not using them. And it's Raynaud. Carl Harris got hurt in this game. Let's check up on that. This is like the best receiving core I've ever had, and they're all in like year 2.
Yeah, my receiving core is
I mean, technically, I also have 99 Jamar Chase and Hunter Renfrow, so it could just be that much more stacked, but I'm not doing that. Dude, Russ Adams, 4 yards. You can't pick up 4 yards? Tyreek Woolen in this game has been terrible right here. I play him at linebacker, but he's been missing tackles where he used to not. Caleb Dillard just... No. You go find him and read them to me.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Throwing is Wilson.
Picked off, Rakia.
Sutton is intercepted. Picked up by Rakia Sin. And the Raiders are going to take
the formidable Rakia Sin and Trayvon Mullen combo is unknown to any except for... I don't know what I'm...
Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where, in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, He needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention.
Brother, I've been waiting on that one. You don't even know, bro.
Zappy looking to throw it on first down. He's got some room to operate. And he's
I didn't feel immersed into without the waddle.
and they're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll go to Adams, trying to
That's because his pass animation trajectory should be the bench.
Touchdown. His 10th
Unjust beast Neil Farrell got hurt apparently.
And the Raiders take the interception on
Luke Kirk.
and convert it into 6 points. Extra point.
Probably Raiders having like 0 talent plays.
Score 14-7. Following the touchdown.
If I had goals with like Raynaud that I forgot about, like goals for like yardage and stats going into this game, I have 2 receptions with him for 32 yards. I haven't like played the way that I usually play in this game. Like I haven't thrown the ball like that. I've been running it more. And so
From that last drive in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, you know, they're going to want to try and get a big
Jordan.
play and take control back. Others, they're going to look at a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the
I like Washington football team low-key better.
changing a bit, they want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Now the throw pulled in by Anderson.
Okay.
And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Much needed. Much needed.
The general stability must have been the perfect difference.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. He'll get that complete to Alberto. And he'll be brought down to the other side of midfield at the 43.
Updated Bengals to new stadium branding. Takes issue with the logo on alphabetics 3 cleats. Takes multiple players with ankles, slipping issues.
So throwing it on second down. Wilson.
No, it's not DJ Carr. It was Will. It was what's his name?
And he has
Crap.
hit number 500. Charles, that is his 500th NFL career catch.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of his name for no reason. It's not DJ Carr. It's the other one.
500 put you on the path, a significant number.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. Slipped one tackle, but
Yeah.
no more as he's
Murphy.
line of scrimmage.
Will Murphy.
5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And down to the 36-yard line. So third down. They
Troy.
get to the 28 for a first. Here's Wilson.
Yeah, I remember you telling me Nick Bolton. Yeah,
He will have a Broncos first
I want to have a.
Get the third down conversion. So from inside the 20, here's first and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Man open left side. And the ball is knocked out. And the Raiders pick it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Maybe they just hadn't.
That had the ball and was driving, they're going to feel horrible. But the team that was on defense,
Falale in at tight end because Dante Cousins is hurt.
In the red zone,
You know I'm hitting them.
chance to tie it and an opportunity.
You already know what we're doing.
Offense set to get this drive started.
Fringe moved Falale to tight end officially. Oh my gosh. You know how broken that would be?
Have been doing after scoring a touchdown.
Yes, and like just hand it off to him. Fridge.
to have on the sideline partner, knowing he just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Zappy back to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll take this across the 25 before going.
Stay on the live and I'll show you what they look like once this game ends. It's almost over. Where are you at? At Kroger?
Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here.
I feel like that's like a massively busy time.
Yeah, usually that's what they send me when it's talking like that.
And this is going to be a Raiders first down.
Russell Adams starting to tee him off right here. Remember when I almost wasn't going to use him because his game was terrible. I wasn't familiar with his abilities. He was one of like the top. Like I could tell from his like stuff that he was a stud, but he didn't feel good. Like he never hit the hole. It was basically Tank and Auburn at the beginning of this year before Jeremiah Wright came back. Once Jeremiah Wright, one of our linemen, came back, we've like finally started opening holes for Tank. But before, Tank was last in the nation, and it wasn't his fault. But it's more of a lineman stat. He was touched after the handoff with less yards. So basically, like as soon as he touched it, he had gained less yards in the entire nation than any other running back before he was touched. He averaged like 0.2 yards per run before contact. And that was through it was terrible. It was through like the first 5 games. And then we finally, Jeremiah Wright is like 6'6", like 330, and he finally came back and is like a guard or something, and he's like nasty and has gotten like a bunch of penalties for just like shoving people to the ground, like pancaking them after the whistle, not stopping. I'd rather a lineman not stop through a whistle than not be able to drive somebody to the ground ever. We needed nastiness, and we've had none for a long time. But Jeremiah Wright's also our like lowest graded pass blocker. I know. We Harsin and Malzahn recruited. Harsin didn't recruit, period. Malzahn only recruited skill positions, and yeah. But Harsin legitimately didn't recruit. Oh. Harsin legitimately didn't. Yes, Harsin legitimately didn't recruit. Like the high school coaches in Auburn, I've read so many anonymous high school head coaches. It'd be like from like big, what the frick? Anonymous head coaches. I'm saying it again. Anonymous head coaches from big high schools have came out and said that they're not going to send people to Auburn, and they're like lifelong Auburn fans, but they're not going to help send their kids to Auburn because the Auburn staff, namely their head coach, has made no effort to come out to their schools and make relationships with them or the players, which is like the first that they've ever seen, and they have better relations with like random teams than they do Auburn, which is so stupid and annoying. I don't think he tried to sabotage us, because who comes to a place and tries to I think after he got blamed for something, he stopped caring though. Because Yellowwood, do you know what Yellowwood is? Is that more than just the state of Alabama? Yes, Yellowwood is based in the state of Alabama, and Jimmy Rain owns Yellowwood, and Jimmy Rain basically runs Auburn football. He is our largest booster and is like the runner of the booster club, and he's literally the absolute worst. He's notoriously terrible and has been for Auburn for like ever. He runs the boosters and he runs Auburn practically. And he's like a massive baby and like a real jerk, and he's the one who created those rumors. Like that's a known thing. But all that to say is that Russell Adams, when I first got him, felt like Tank because he would be touched like 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Huh? I'd rather stop talking.
To throw is Wilson. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, that throw left him no room to run, and a good footwork nearly all for naught.
Oh, you said something about you'd rather stalking, but I heard I'd rather stop talking. I was like, what are you talking about? You're not even talking. I've been talking like a ton.
And there to drop it for his his 11th sack of the year. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass.
So are you still stalking or no?
He better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big
Beast.
play could result for the offense.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And he overshot him there.
Russell Wilson, 17 of 31 for 166 and an interception.
Convert here on 4th. And the
Let Russ cook.
So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback.
Zappy's going to lead the Raiders to the Super Bowl, man.
It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice. But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go and play it.
Man. He could be the quarter. He could be my guy, but I don't. We're going to have to see. You trade for too much real already known talent. I'm a big fan of basically what's in the 2K free agent pool, which is specialized talent. I traded Devontae Adams for Jamar Chase, which I think is a fine thing. You can trade real talent for real talent, but unless you have a plan or it's an NFL Films type thing in your head of the running back would bowl ahead for 5 yards, if there's no storyline behind it and it needs the storyline. Sewu is the type guy that I get. Sewu is great at trucking and great at breaking tackles, but good at nothing else. And he's the definition of a. That's probably the key ruiner, because you can get a whole team of people, but if you trade. Hang on, I'm about to shout at the dogs. I'm about to shout at our dogs. Hey! Ann! Yeah. No! Nissan Brown.
That one looks like he'll fall here. Going right side here, and that's complete.
Hey, Lane Knox. All I'm saying is Lane Knox is getting playtime because Raynaud randomly has no stamina, and he has 99 stamina and 99 injury. And let's just say Lane Knox catches literally everything. Lane Knox is Lane Kiffin's son's name. And did you know that Lane Kiffin's son is named Knox? Well, I have Lane Knox. Fringe Lane Kiffin.
Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to
Yeah, that's his dog. Kiffin is I love the way Kiffin tweets. The stuff he says, if you read it, it's like reading up on the Egg Bowl today and an exclamation point or something. It's the most, he tries to, he's Jared. He's literally Jared. Jared would send stuff. If Jared sent me stuff, he'd send stuff reading the Iron Bowl. It'd be a Iron Bowl program or something. It's looking forward to reading about the Iron Bowl, and it'd just be to purely weenie because next time I see a Lane Kiffin tweet like it, I'm sending it to you, and you'll know what I mean. It's like a troll. It's him not even trying to troll, but it's trolling. He'll retweet 70-year-old women's things of Ole Miss, and it'll be I just got a new Ole Miss scarf or something. He'll retweet it being I love it, Cheryl. I might need one of those for, or so-and-so. And it's period. Lane Kiffin just being super sarcastic and hilarious.
On 4th down, it's Zappy. Steps away to his left. Well, this is called touchdown.
Yeah, and it's doing some late night reading.
As they add
He'd be the type person to comment "looks yummy" on like a dessert post, but it'd be like just. Kitten's like hilarious. If he comes to Auburn or doesn't, I like everything that he's done during this process of making both sides go like insane, making the annoying people on both sides go insane.
When they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You can see them sag on their sideline.
He was offered a contract extension and hasn't accepted it, and is knowing that it's publicly like this. I think he does leave. Nobody leaves it like this, anonymous and up in the air. Now, I wouldn't be. I personally think he did. I personally think he will, but I'm not getting my hopes up, and I'm not upset if he doesn't. Is basically what it is. Like, I'd want Lane Kiffin, but I'm not like, heart set on that. I don't want Hugh Freeze. I really don't. I'd rather keep.
The Broncos about set to go on offense.
My top head coaches in this order would be Lane Kiffin, Keith Cadillac, because he's basically Deion Sanders, except not, because Deion Sanders has a better name, but I don't. Who knows? I know Cadillac at least can. Oh. My top coaches are Lane Kiffin, in this order, would be Lane Kiffin at 1, keep Cadillac as head coach. That's basically That's basically getting Deion, because they're like this. Oh crap. I think so, because Cadillac's an Auburn guy, and you know that he wouldn't have. There's no better job that he would leave for. While Deion might. Would I rather have Lane over who? Cadillac? Lane over Deion? Yes. Deion's third on my list. So I would. Now, if you could keep Cadillac as the assist, if Deion would keep Cadillac.
That would actually be on like the checkout aisle. Whenever you're checking out, it's gonna be right there.
These are my scenarios. Lane Kiffin is the best option, and I think he's a home run hire. I think he's a home run hire because I don't think that he's not as good as a Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. I personally don't like LSU's head coach, and I think that guy's a jerk and like is a known cheater and is kind of like he's basically Nick Saban. Brian Kelly, he's like. Yeah, he's a real, like, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to belittle Kentucky, but I don't like Coach Cal either, and it's the same type of reasons. They're just kind of fake to me, and they kind of are, like, behind the scenes. Like, I don't know, it feels like they do stuff just for publicity in terms of, like, the good things that they do, and, like, in reality, they're kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not going to sound right, and you'll just roast it. But if you understood what I'm saying, or if I knew how to explain it, you would know what I'm saying. But I think y'all could do way better than Cal, and I think y'all should. Y'all deserve better than Cal.
He's a lifetime deal.
Huh?
He's a lifetime deal. I'm completely fine with that.
I think that he's not the greatest coach, honestly. Y'all should be winning way more. And I don't think it's that you don't have talent. I'm saying that
people make the argument that he's not a good coach, but
y'all should beat Gonzaga's and Michigan State's, even if Gonzaga and Michigan State's are good. Like, I know that they are good, and I know that Kentucky actually has 2 really good losses, but
I agree.
I think, and I don't blame that on I don't blame that on your talent. That's just me though. I think Bruce. I'm saying you can make fun of it. I'm not saying Auburn's the better team or better historically, but Bruce Pearl's a way better basketball coach than Cal, in my opinion.
People like to chalk over our losses to Coach Cal, but if you watch the game, the plays we run are not. It's not bad plays. It's just we don't hit our shots. And I'd say, yeah, we do have talent, but it's how the talent plays together. And right now we're not playing well together.
Hang on, I'm texting more. Nate and his girlfriend are.
If we're ranked 15 right now, I'd say that's pretty accurate to how we actually are. Maybe even lower. But Cal set before the season even started that. It's going to take a while to get ready. Just like last year, whenever we 30-piece Kansas and we 30-piece North Carolina, if we played national championship in that time, I guarantee we win the national championship. We peaked way too early.
When? Hang on. Hang on. What time? Hang on. Keep whatever you just said in mind. I respect Kentucky, but I don't respect Coach Cal. I don't really like him. I think that he's sleazy and kind of like a Nick Saban, Brian Kelly. I don't know how to explain it. What? He's like a behind the scenes. He's like to the media nice, but then behind the scenes like kind of fake, in my opinion. I don't know how to explain what I mean because I can't. I don't know. He just feels like that.
He does a crap ton of stuff for Kentucky. He raises so much money.
I mean, I guess. I just don't think that he's like the best dude, and like, I think he's more focused on his legacy than he is. In a sense, I think Bruce Pearl's invested in Auburn. And I'm not saying Cal's not, but I think Cal's more invested in himself than he is Kentucky, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. I know that he's putting into Kentucky, but he's putting in because he's invested to making himself look better, if that makes sense.
Well, making himself look better worked out pretty well.
I know, but I'm saying that that's not better for Kentucky. I think y'all can do better than somebody like that. I'm saying that there's
I mean, we could probably get whatever coach we wanted, but
I know. I don't think y'all could get people from Kansas. I don't think you could get Bruce Pearl from Auburn. That's just. I think that Bruce Pearl's legitimately satisfied being in Auburn, but I don't think you could get from Kansas, Auburn. You could probably get Musselman away, but I don't think that he'd be better for.
Whenever Cal decides to retire, or if we do end up firing him, we have to think of the litter.
You will, but I don't.
Just like Alabama.
Yeah, but I'm saying even Alabama, they're not going to be able to get coaches away from Ohio State, Georgia, and they most likely, even if Lane goes to Auburn, wouldn't be able to get somebody away from Auburn, but just because of that rivalry, in a sense. There's different factors, but they would be able to get like Clemson. Dabo played for Alabama. It's all about. I think that y'all could do better because I think that I don't know how to explain it, but I think that he's more invested in making himself look good, and if that means helping Kentucky, then that's helping Kentucky. But ultimately, you could get a guy that was invested in Kentucky, and I think Bruce Pearl is more invested in his players that are there at the moment. I don't think I think he's invested in pumping out teams to again make himself look better. While I feel Bruce is more. And this is just me, so don't take what I'm saying as fact. But I think Bruce is more invested in each individual player and is a better, like...
I agree. I feel like he is too good of a recruiter for his own good. Like, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
We may get the number one recruiting class, but we had the number one recruiting class with Terrence Clark.
I know.
And Brandon Boston and them, and we were one of the worst teams of all time.
And it's because I don't think he invests.
College is a lot more.
He just invests in getting them recruits. He doesn't care. He doesn't have a good coaching system to set. He can get talent, but he doesn't have a system in place to really utilize that talent. Besides, like Oscar.
Yeah, no, but then again.
But I think that's more Oscar just being dominant.
Then again, in 2012, majority of our roster was freshmen. So, just all depends on our last national championship.
Yeah. But that was also... Hey, what was that? Was that Nerlens Noel or was that Anthony Davis? That was Anthony Davis.
Was AD.
Yeah. Nerlens was the next
Noel
year.
Was like 2009. Or like
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Nerlens Noel was after Anthony Davis because the Sixers drafted him. Anthony Davis was he went to the...
Yeah, Nerlens would have been 2013.
Nerlens was 13. And then who was in 14? And 14 was Julius Randle.
14 was Cat.
No, 14 was Julius Randle. Yes, I promise. I know this because you don't know how many. You know how we like make 1,000 franchises. I made about 7,000. I had a my career that was actually fun on the game before or whatever, and then I couldn't find one that was like fun on the next one, and I made literally 1,000. So, 2014 was Julius Randle, and then 2015 was Cat, and 2016 was Bam. No.
You have it a year later.
Yeah, who was 2016?
2016 was De'Aaron Fox, Bam, Malik Monk.
What year was Willie Cauley-Stein? Was he with
He was 2014 with Devin Booker, Cat.
Devin Booker and Cat were there in 2015. Nerlens Noel, no, not Julius Randle was 2014. I promise. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
2014.
Now, we may be talking about 2014, but, like, you know what I'm saying? The 2014, you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking
the
about.
Weird years. Yeah, 2014 Kentucky. So it may pull.
2014, 2015. I told you. Devin Booker got drafted in 2015.
Then, no, I'm right. Well, what I was talking about, I'm right. Dakari Johnson, the Harrisons, Julius Randle, Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, so they're going to be, if we even have them, the Candy Isle's over in aisle 15, so it's just a few aisles down. And if they're not, in that aisle, there's like a little like area right outside of it, like by the front doors, where some of the seats. Okay. Alrighty.
So, hey, are you there?
Yeah.
Y'all won the. Anthony Davis would have been 2011, 2012.
Yes, that was.
And then 2012, 2013 was Nerlens Noel because I was leaving the United States during Nerlens' era.
Yes.
And that's what I meant. It's the 13-14 team. I didn't know which year I was talking about, but I knew what year. I view basketball season more as January up. And so I was meaning like.
Yeah, I know. The way the season falls,
it's super difficult to talk about what year, and I can't even tell you what year Auburn did stuff.
Recruiting classes.
I don't know what year Auburn was in the Final Four. I can't. I do know, but I don't. I can't.
Okoro, it would have been 2018.
It was not Okoro. It was Okiki, Bryce, and Chuma. It was
the Tyler Hero year. Tyler Hero was 2018, 2019.
Okay, 2018, 2019. That was Jared, Bryce, Chuma. Then the next year.
It's weird because the draft is in the same year that the season ends. So like,
the next year
played until 2019 and was drafted.
The next year was 2019, 2020, and Auburn was number one in the SEC and won the regular season title or whatever. And then the season stopped because of COVID. And we had Okoro.
That was Tyrese Maxey.
We had Okoro, McCormick. We were going to go deep. That team was better, honestly, than the team before it.
That was the year we had Maxey.
That was the most criminal thing of all time, that Tyrese Maxey slipped to 23 or 4. That
college season would have been legit, bro.
It was going to be, like, awesome. Kentucky was good. Auburn was good. Basketball as a whole.
Was stacked.
It was. Tennessee was good. Everybody. What did Tennessee? Did Tennessee have?
That was when they had Admiral Schofield.
Yeah.
Like Grant Williams.
And is it that, like, Pons dude?
East Pons.
Yes, it was going to be like.
The SEC is stacked. College basketball is good.
I'm just saying, Auburn being good is good for the SEC and good for college basketball. It makes Kentucky look better. It makes everybody. I like Alabama being.
It's good when the SEC in general is good.
I want Alabama to be bad in basketball, but it is good that they are good in a sense because it's more fun beating them because they're considered good.
I want every team to be good because it just makes everything better.
But it's kind of like at least pretty elite that honestly in football and basketball, all of our teams are like relevant in a sense, even though it's a down year for Auburn in football. But I said it's kind of cool that like right now all of our teams are relevant at the big two sports.
Yeah.
Like. And to an extent, because right now Auburn football is again coming back to where it's supposed to be, but also
will never not be relevant in football.
Yeah, just because we're one of the top like 10 grossing programs like ever. We're basically like Kentucky in basketball, but y'all are like Alabama of basketball. But
yeah, it's actually I was just thinking about that earlier, like this week, because we both won national championships the same year, and I've kind of been the same since.
Who? Auburn or Kentucky and Alabama?
Auburn football, Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, just random down years and like underperforming, but like having teams that are
potential to be great.
Should be. Nick Marshall went freaking 8-5 in 2014, and he scored 46 on Alabama and threw for like 400 yards in that game, and he was supposedly couldn't throw. Auburn just has literally the worst schedule possible for any team ever because we play LSU, Alabama, and Georgia.
And Georgia's bowl game was decided by the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, we lose. We with Malzahn. If we didn't make like an actual game, we would lose. He didn't win bowl games. We didn't prepare well for bowl games. Because teams, and I can tell you why. Because Malzahn's scheme is super. It's hard to stop, but if you have a ton of time to prepare for it, it's easy to stop. And so the longer that we have a break to prepare for we always would do terrible against teams coming off a bye week, or where they had 2 weeks to prepare, or in bowl games. Because Malzahn's scheme is literally just zone runs and out-physicaling you and having Trey Mason, Cameron Artis-Payne, Peyton Barber, Javon Robinson, Kerryon Johnson, Cameron Petway, or Tank Bigsby run right over you. And that's like, in college, maybe not in terms of NFL success, but in college, Auburn is one of the top 5 schools ever with running backs. We consistently, if you go back to the...
Don't even do this. Don't even do this. You've done this before for like an hour straight.
I remember the time. Now
I literally left my phone and you were talking whenever I came back.
Probably. I'm very passionate about that. Auburn is legitimately running back U of college football, along with like USC. Bama's running backs aren't good, and they are good in college. Derrick Henry. Mark Ingram is the worst Heisman winner of all time. Auburn held him to 14 carries for 39 yards in his Heisman year. Imagine against your biggest rival, like having your worst game, but by a lot. And it being a game of that magnitude, and you having like 13 carries for 39 yards. That's pathetic. He's not.
I was saying earlier about last year, whenever you were like on Warby text or whatever, I was saying, so the national championship last year was Kansas and North Carolina.
Yeah.
In the middle of the season,
you beat both those teams.
At away.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I was about to say, y'all beat both of them.
At Kansas, 30-piece North Carolina at North Carolina. We ended up both playing each other in the national championship.
I'm telling you,
way too early.
Kentucky basketball they could do so much better.
No, but it's not on the coach.
To an extent. I think that, the players, of course, the players play a massive role.
Yeah, it's a new team every year.
And I think that it's more important.
Like Auburn, where like 4-year players are more common, it's a lot better. Like team success is more common for teams that have longer tenure teams, like senior.
Well, right now, Auburn and Kentucky are doing about the same in terms of putting out one and dones. Not really, but
not really.
the past 2 seasons we have. Kentucky's returning guys like Sheboy and stuff.
We have one returning player.
And
we have 2 returning players.
Wheeler. Who all did y'all lose? That wasn't due to.
Tai and Shaden, who didn't play.
Shaden's basically Jalen Green, except he was.
We had like 5 people to transfer away.
I mean, Shaden was on your roster, so it's different than Jalen Green. But at the same time,
I know what you're saying.
It's basically not. Jalen Green was an Auburn player that didn't ever play for Auburn, which is why I can't. You can associate with Shaden more than I can with Jalen Green, but Jalen Green basically played for Auburn, except he chose to get paid. And if it had been a year later, he literally would have, which is like probably my least favorite thing of all time. I cannot.
If you go on like Kentucky Twitter, Shaden's like the most hated player ever. I like him, but people hate him.
Auburn hasn't had enough talent like Jalen Green to be able to. 2025 cap room, $97 million? What? I haven't touched my cap on here, dude.
Excuse me. Because Robots contract cleared up. You have to use the dead cap.
Huh?
You ate Roquan's dead cap. Now you have cap room.
What does that even mean?
Like his contract, the years of his contract ran out. So you don't have to pay on his contract anymore.
Amen. Well, bruh, should I start You know who doesn't want to play for me freaking at all anymore?
Little Debbie's, like the muffins and stuff. If you go to aisle 6, it's like the bread aisle. It's going to be on towards that. Yes, ma'am. No problem.
I freaking have Micah Parsons, and that makes me so mad.
What?
Dude, I would have literally been playing Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons and Hunter Renfrow if I had known that I could potentially keep them. Especially Micah Parsons. What the frick? That is angering.
Now they're like not going to point.
No, he says that both of them have literally no interest, and neither does Renfrow, because I haven't played them at all. Let me look at Merrick's ratings. 90 speed, 89 hit power. Let's see what his stats have been the past few years. Merrick could come back. What game is this? So I'm looking at his career stats. 2021, is that a real year?
Week 18.
Is 2021
last year in real life?
Okay, so that was real life. Is 2022 me on this game?
That's real life.
Huh?
Yes, that's the current season in real life.
Okay, so this was me. He had 78 tackles total, 3 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, 1 deflection, 2 forced fumbles. 2023.
You keep going, it's going to be down there on the left. No problem.
2023, he had 2 interceptions and 4 forced fumbles, 86 tackles. And then this season, he has 80 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. Should I keep Trayvon Merrick? Trayvon Merrick is an 80. Trayvon Merrick's 25 and an 87 overall.
I would like re-sign people because their overall's high, but I never did like look at their stats to see if they're actually like playing good.
Will Dissly not wanting to re-sign? It's okay. You don't have to be a part of the movement.
What? Untouchable.
He doesn't want to re-sign, and I'm not dealing with that.
Cut ties with Dissly?
Yeah. I'm cutting ties with Jamar Chase as well. Officially.
Roquan's laughing at the bank.
Parsons is interesting. I'm not willing to fully write him off yet. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. While I was peeing, I decided I'm not keeping Micah because if I want to get rid of him, then after signing him, it's going to be the same thing as Roquan.
It's controversial. Bond's pissed.
Yeah, if I brought back Micah and signed him to a deal just to trade him, I'd then have to eat his contract, and it just wouldn't be worth it. J.C. Tretter's getting old, and I have a star center. I have a like rookie center that's a star that's like a 74 under him.
What's his name?
I forgot his name.
Let's see if I remember him.
I'm gonna have to look on that in a second. I'm not gonna negotiate with Trayvon yet, but we're thinking about it hard. Let me see what his name is. Manage roster, NFL rosters. Alex Edgar, you do.
Yeah, that was the guy suggested, right?
One of them, I think. But he was already in my favorited. Right now, my line looks like left tackle Colton Miller, backup Thayer Munford, 72. Keelan Turner. I'm telling you, I have the most stacked draft classes ever. He's in his second year. He's an 83 overall. Keelan Turner,
Nick Mobley.
And nope, Damon Fitzpatrick is the backup left guard. He's a 68 overall. He's actually solid. If he played, he would do good. Then it's J.C. Treader and Alex Edgar, who's playing at a 77. Nick Mobley, playing at an 84, and he's a star. Yeah, he's from Bama. He's the only Bama player I like because he's 6'8", 323, and I have him at right guard. And then Marquand Barrow, who's
Marquand. He's another like 6'10".
No, he's 6'4", 307, but he's from he's the Keelan Turner class, so he's in his second year from Clemson, 73 overall. And then Elton Jenkins and Daniel Falele playing at a 76, and Elton at a 92. D-line is Crosby.
Is Elton starting?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Elton's a 92.
Right here.
Huh?
What's up? Hey, I'll call you back. Give me like a phone.
All right.